mention them to them not to leave?
Call to order the Board of County Commissioners special meeting for May 28th. If you're here for the election training, it's immediately after this. This is going to be a very short meeting. So at this time, if you will join us with the Pledge of Allegiance and salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico as the symbol of perfect friendship among United cultures. I was done. If you'll indulge us real quick, we're going to do a moment of silence for those lost in the airplane crash last Friday. Thank you very much. It's always tragic when you have a loss of life. It's even more tragic when you lose your youth of your community. Okay, first item on the agenda is to approve the special meeting agenda. I think there are some changes. Madam Manager?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Yes, we will still be asking, or I will still be asking for your approval to move forward with purchasing the fuel for the new tanks that we purchased at the airport. However, we are not going to need to use the emergency portion of the fire funds.
So we can just start using the emergency portion of the fire excise tax from the agenda?
That's correct.
Okay. I'll move to strike using the emergency portion of the fire excise tax from the agenda. Second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay. Is there any other changes? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda? I'd like to make the motion we approve with the change. Second. There's a motion second to approve the agenda as amended. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. New business. Approve or disapprove county manager to proceed with the purchase of jet fuel and avgas for the county airport fuel tanks. How much latitude do you need, Abby?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe the cost will be around 60 to 65, but I'm asking for 60 to 80 just in case, our quote comes in much higher, but I believe it's going to be around 60 or 65.
Okay. Did you want to put that part of the motion? Yeah, let's make that as part of the motion to the cap of 80.
Move that we approve the county manager to proceed with the purchase of jet and AV fuel for the county airport fuel tanks with 60 to 80 with a cap of 80.
And I second. There's a motion and a second to approve the county manager to proceed with the purchase of jet fuel and avgas with a cap of 80,000. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. Resolution. Approve or disapprove a resolution R1423 preliminary budget fiscal year 2014-2015. Linda and I have been we've been buried in this thing for a couple of weeks, so I'll let Linda just go over it real quick.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner and members of the board. I'd like to just briefly go over what took place in this preliminary budget, and I'd like to inform you that the Commissioner's Infrastructure Fund was omitted from this preliminary budget, along with the decrease in contractual services, and we also eliminated a position for an administrative assistant at this time. Now, what was included was an increase in salaries as stated in the bargaining agreement contract that was approved last year, and there was also a 0.4% increase in PRA matching contributions, which was mandated by the state. So those were the only additions to the budget. Everything else stayed flat. Now, there was also an increase of total revenues of $398,000 and a total decrease in expenses of $120,000 for this fiscal year. Okay. So with that being said, the total revenue that is budgeted for the general fund is $10,800,000. $877,906. And the total expenses for general fund is $9,179,476. For the road fund, their total revenue also was decreased slightly by $24,000, and that's just all in projections for this fiscal year. It was $989,675 is what's being budgeted for revenue, and the expenses is $1,647,185. Now, for the correction fund, the revenue slightly increased by $14,000, and the total budgeted revenue was $963,143, and the expenses slightly increased by $120,000, again, due to those additions that I mentioned earlier. So total expenses is $2,555,908. It does meet the required reserves in the general fund of 3/12 and 1/12 in the road fund. So I recommend that this budget be approved as a preliminary, and it will be accepted by DFA. We have followed the reserve requirements that we need to. And again, I'd like to mention that it's all a preliminary budget, so when we do get our final numbers on June 30th, we can revisit the requested budgets that all the departments have submitted.
Just a couple of things that we're waiting on for the final budget. The ending balances, we don't know exactly where we're going to end up on that. And also, Secure Rural School funding for the road has not been authorized yet, so that we don't know if that's going to be authorized. And PILT has only been authorized for 1 year. So we may need to start looking at taking an action to take care of ourselves, because the federal government is, monies are drying up. But we can get that done in the next couple of months. We'll know a lot more by then. So if there's any questions, we'll take them, or we can take a motion.
Well, I know we've been encouraging a tight budget, and it seems like you've done a very good job, Linda, reviewing some of that stuff with you, so I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for your hard work. You've been putting a lot of hours into it. So thank you.
And I just echo that, Linda, good job. It's a budget I think that we can live within. I realize this is just a preliminary budget, and we're going to be having some more adjustments and stuff, but I like it.
That being said, I'd like to make a motion that we approve Resolution R-14-23, the preliminary budget for fiscal year 2014-2015.
Second. There's a motion and a second to approve Resolution R-1423, the preliminary budget for 2014-2015. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion to adjourn. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. We are adjourned.